Imagine people coming up to you during and after your wedding, telling you it's the most relaxed and connected wedding they've ever been to, their favorite by far. This is actually achievable. Welcome to Worldly Families. I'm Justine Janae. Traveling to over 40 countries and living abroad has shown me that the mainstream American way of doing things is not always the best way. I'm all about teaching you new ways of being and doing so you can live and or parent more intentionally and joyfully. In this video, I'll walk you through the system my husband Kenny and I use to pull off a super fun, stress-free, uniquely us wedding. And we planned the whole thing in under 2 months with less than $8,000 with no wedding planner. That's less than half of the average COVID wedding and less than a quarter of the average pre-pandemic wedding. Follow the guidelines I share in this video to plan the wedding of your dreams. Step 1, choose your target vibe. The most critical key to success is your mindset. Before you even start planning, decide what vibe you want to create. In our case, we were shooting for relaxed, connected, authentic to us, and fun. Caveat, we had the privilege of deciding to do our wedding our own way, bucking tradition when it wasn't aligned with our core values and embracing it in sometimes unique ways when it was. Not everyone comes from a culture or family background where that's realistic. If that's the case for you, then take the golden nuggets you can apply and leave the rest. Step 2, set your priorities. For us, we had heard so many horror stories of bridezillas and couples not even enjoying the big day or the months leading up to it because they were so stressed out. We decided early on that our top priority was to enjoy both the outcome and the process. Because that was our top priority, we decided that if any piece of the wedding planning started to feel stressful, we'd skip it. In our case, figuring out who would sit on what side was stressful, so we seated everyone in 2 concentric circles. We also skipped having a wedding party and a formal rehearsal dinner. Instead, we had friends help us set up the day before and gorged on some Torchy's tacos. We skipped the flower girl and ring bearer situation until the day of, when spontaneously we asked my daughter and nephew to fulfill those duties. The kids didn't need to be stressed out about it for weeks ahead of time because it wasn't even on their little plates. Our second priority was fun, especially the dinner and the dance party. We made playlists for every part of the day to cultivate the vibe we wanted, and we made sure the music reflected the diversity of the people attending. AKA, we skipped Sweet Caroline and other very white crowd pleasers that Kenny had never heard of until adulthood. We also Marie Kondoed our guest list and only invited people who sparked joy, not inviting anyone out of a sense of obligation. That included our vendors. We made sure to choose vendors we got connected with through friends who could vouch for their down-to-earthness. Our videographer who filmed all the B-roll in this video, Cadenza Films, was so awesome. By the end of it, we felt like actual friends. That made a huge difference in the day. And our third priority was health and sustainability. All our food was farm to table, our plates, cutlery, and drinkware were bamboo and compostable, and our cake was completely paleo, but still delicious. Instead of mailing paper invites, we cut down on carbon emissions by sending out very practical Google invites instead. Your top priorities are likely different. Just make sure that you hold each other accountable to focusing on what matters most to you as you make all the little decisions along the way. And then don't exert too much energy on anything else. Step 3, set expectations. This step isn't mandatory, but I think it was really helpful for us. Sending out the Google Calendar invites helped set the tone for our relaxed wedding. The description started like this. Hi loved ones, welcome to our low-key, stress-free, unconventional, and oh-so-practical wedding invite. You will not be getting one in the mail. Come celebrate with us. We then went on to explain that if anything starts to stress us out, we're skipping it, so they can count on food and vows, but that's about it. Even the schedule we set was very ish-ish. Even though we ended up having a lot of the pieces of a traditional wedding, there were no expectations of how it would go. So everything that did happen felt like a bonus. Step 4, enroll your loved ones in the process. If you're lucky enough to have built a village around you, lean on them. Ask for help. So many of our friends contributed to pulling off the day. Because so many people were involved, it felt more like teamwork than it did a big stressful production all on Kenny and my shoulders. Another benefit of this is that our friends got to know each other before the wedding because they were arranging flowers together and spray painting the arch and decorating the welcome yurt. Yes, we had a welcome yurt. That added some social lubricant to the whole day because people were already so comfortable with each other. Step 5, go with the flow. The day of, just enjoy. Let go of any attachment and any expectations for the day, even your top priorities. On our wedding day, several things didn't go as loosely planned, but we just incorporated those setbacks into the fun. When it started sprinkling right before the outdoor ceremony, we just popped open our umbrellas and did the damn thing. When our photos ran long, everyone else just started eating and we joined in at the end. My sister saved us a plate. We moved the toast to after dinner, no biggie. People had already started dancing, so we didn't stop everything to do our first dance. We just hopped on the dance floor with everyone and enjoyed our first dance with our village. Everyone could feel that we weren't stressed about the specific time or way everything was executed, and that made the entire event so easy breezy and enjoyable. Ultimately, you'll remember the vibe you create more so than any specific detail of the event. So hold that vision in your mind and heart as you're planning and let it go on the day of the wedding and enjoy the ride. For our entire family, it was the best day ever. I hope your wedding day is just as perfectly imperfect and just as magical. If you're getting married in and around the Austin area, I will link to all of the vendors we used in the description below. I highly recommend them. They were awesome.